Alright boys, what's going on? Welcome back to another Woniu iCow Chinese production. It's great to be here with you guys and casting another Bisu best of 7. We just watched Bisu versus Light. And now we've got Bisu versus Queen. Queen is kind of surprising me lately. I thought he had kind of fallen off after his 2 ASL championships. It seemed like he was kind of falling into obscurity, but this past season he was looking formidable. He didn't make it as deep. Of course, he didn't go all the way, but he kind of surprised me with the way that he was playing. And in recent pro leagues, in the KCM and otherwise, he has been showing up and proving that he's taking it very seriously and possibly making a comeback here in 2026. So I'm excited to see what he can do against Bisu. His macro is incredible. The 2 seasons, the 1 year that he was dominant, he seemed nearly unbeatable when it came to ZVP. He was an absolute killer, and it wasn't quite like Soma or Soulkey, right? It wasn't like he was always getting in there with the Hydra Bust and just beating every single Protoss player. It was more like he just couldn't be stopped when it came to macro. He was always able to get into a really reasonable macro position and just smack down every single Protoss player as they were trying to poke holes in his game. He's kind of like Hero in that regard. More of a macro Zerg player. I know that Soulkey can play a really long macro game, and Soulkey can too. But whenever I think of Soulkey or Soma's early game, or when I think of their PvZ, I really think of the early game, right? They're just so scary, so good at getting in there for the kill. And in fact, we've been watching recently in Pro League Snow get bested by Soma over and over again. There's been a couple of wins here and there from Snow, but every single time they're on opposite teams and Snow gets sent out, Soma immediately gets sent out to snipe him in Winners League. So it's like, it's getting kind of funny, man. It is really getting kind of funny, the way that they're using Soma to disrupt Snow. Bisu a little bit harder to do that too. Like he will not die in the early game for the most part. He's very good at controlling his early game units. He's very good at defending against things like Hydralisk Bust. And generally he's just super strong with Corsair play. Like very hard to break him with air units. So he doesn't have those similar holes in his game like someone like Snow. He seems to be able to get through these early games a lot more efficiently. And so we'll see how he does here versus Queen. If we go into a bunch of long PvZ games, I'll be very happy. I think that'll be the best result. And Queen's still the same type of player. You can see him here just setting up 3 lings and trapping in that Zealot, freeing up the rest of these lings to go running around and looking for scouts out on the map. This is one thing that I think only Queen does. Like, nobody else really does this but Queen, which is set up a little wall and contain these hidden little Zealots. Everybody else kind of sends in their lings and tries their best, you know, to get 2-on-1 trades. And it's hard to do, but Queen just has a different... He's just got a different style. Here he is again, setting up 2 lings. I think he lost one of his lings, so he's going to set up 2-on-1 potential here. Of course, Bisu will heal up quite a bit with that shield, and eventually he might even be able to break out. Ooh, run by here. Going for the ramp. He actually could have gotten up that ramp. That's a bit unfortunate. He tries to fight the probes here on the bottom of the ramp, and actually This pull ends up being highly efficient, getting rid of a lot of these lings, and now he can go across the map with the majority of the zealots. Only one has to stay back here at home and deal with this ling, and in fact, he's just going to get it. It looks like almost gets it there. Probe kind of blocking things out. Zealot checks the front. Unfortunately, we've got brown on the mini-map here. It's not optimal, that's for sure. I'm not a big fan of brown in Broodwar. I think it just blends into the map too well. So it might be hard for us to keep an eye out for these Corsairs and see exactly what they're up to, but we'll do our best. Probably in the next game, the colors will be changed up. That would be fantastic. That'd be perfect. The lings are coming up to the wall here. Checking in on these zealots. And in fact, the zealots are going to start to move forward just a little bit, just a tad. That's a lot of zealots and 2 gateways here. This is going to be kind of an awkward number of zealots coming out. But Queen knows that this is the case, right? He ran by with the lings. He saw the extra gateway. He should know that there's going to be an awkward number of lings at a weird timing here. That's quite a few zealots for this early on. A run by into the natural. Nice pull. Very nice pull on the probes there. And having a zealot already in the wall helps out a lot. So Bisu holds this off with flying colors, and now there's going to be a pincer maneuver here. He's going to try and block the zealots with lings while bringing up hydras to try and crush this force, but I'm not sure exactly how well this is going to work. Zealots are running away here. Zealot speed needs to come online. He's just taking a lot of damage. He's going to lose almost all the zealots. This is pretty brutal. Really nice shutdown here by Queen. I think this is really enabled. There's the zealot speed. Okay, zealot speed comes online just in the nick of time. He's going to keep running away with these zealots and try to get a DT over to that third base potentially. DT and a couple of zealots moving in that direction, but will they be able to make it there unscathed? I think there's going to be a few more units popping out here for Queen, and that might be able to shut down this attack. Of course, they're just going into the third, so he can make way for the DT. Meanwhile, hydras could potentially come right up to the natural, and I don't think Bisu's ready with Storm just yet. It's 8 minutes 30 on the clock here, and he's just adding on his gateways now. Does he have enough cannons at the natural to save himself? He should have added a few more at the very least to make sure he can't die to this, but if he's slacked at all on that cannon production, he might be in a bit of trouble. Only 4 cannons here, but it's at 9 minutes now. Okay, there it is. Storm is in fact done, and so with Storm, he should be able to block this. Couple of storms there. Not the greatest storms in the world. It allows him to kill a few more cannons, but honestly, this is fine for Bisu. He was able to get a reasonable trade here. Can Queen pick off the Forge, though? Can he actually get the Forge? He's doing a lot of microing out here on the map at the same time, trying to gun down this Forge. Zealot comes out with the Archon. Oh, I just pop out just in the nick of time to actually fight this. It's DT gonna save himself over at this third base. Overlord was a little bit out of position there. Ooh, the Storm here at the front. This is a lot of chaos happening all at the same time right now, but I'm trying to keep up, as is Queen. Keeping on top of everything and trying to get in range of this wall. He's having a hard time, though, and a lot of these hydras are very low. Time to run, time to bail out of this situation, because 1 zealot or 2 attacks could actually kill a lot of these hydras. He's keeping the pressure on, coming back up here to the front. You got to be a little careful in these situations. It's time to take a 4th base for Queen. Otherwise, he's going to end up getting locked into just denying the 3rd of Bisu, and that can be a pretty hard struggle. I wonder if he's about to pop out a bunch of lurkers, or are we going to see a Mutalist transition here? Mutalist might be the right call, considering how aggressive he's going to need to be in the upcoming phase of this game. With no 4th base online, you kind of have to be super aggressive. You got to keep on the Protoss, not allow them to get a 3rd base too quickly, too easily. And so Queen looping around with some hydras, trying to see if he can't get in the way here, maybe snipe a couple High Templars, maybe heading to that high ground, maybe kill a probe or something. He's not really going to find much. And so he's going to back away. 700 gas in the bank. I believe the Spire is right there. So that's actually going to be spotted by a Beast. It's kind of a big tell as to what Queen is up to, right? If Queen is building a Spire right now, we're saving up gas and we don't see Lurker, he's probably going to pop a bunch of mutas. Make a bunch of mutas along with all these Hydras that are popping out. Try to snipe High Templar and deny this third. I think that's the plan here from Queen, though he does have a 4th base now coming up. He may be looking towards a later game with some Lurkers. Just, it's kind of a matter of how Queen is feeling in this game, right? If he feels like he's in a bit of a desperation situation, I think the Hydralisk play is maybe a little bit favorable. But if he's feeling like, I could probably macro out of this, it's not that desperate, Lurker and a Hive could be the other option. It's hard to go Hive on this map. It's hard to go Hive here because your 4th base is a mineral only, and I think we just saw the answer. Look at that. Wow, mutas pop out and he goes double expand. Interesting. Now, I was not expecting that. I thought he would either, you know, macro, and I didn't really expect the extra base, but it makes sense. Get the 4th gas online so that you can go into Hive. But if that's the case, wouldn't you want to get Lurkers in this situation? Try to like bunker down, build lots of Sunkens, and kind of hold back the Protoss player who's likely to start getting aggressive here shortly. But instead, he's going to get aggressive with mutas. Maybe this is his plan, to just try to keep Bisu on the back foot while the Lurker transition happens. Keep him on the back foot while he... Oh, storms his Archon. Wait, what the heck? That was weird. I think he was making a mistake there. Accidentally clicked his Dark Archon with his Templar there instead of just straight up clicking his Dark Archon. That was strange, but definitely a mistake there. Is it going to be a game-breaking error? I don't think so. He kills the Observer here on the high ground, and he's taking an okay trade against these Dragoons as they're coming up, but the storms are pretty good. Storming as soon as anything groups up, and he gets another Observer. Okay, that's pretty good as well. The longer that he can delay this 4th, the better, because this 5th base is coming online. The gas has been, or gas is about to be taken. He hasn't taken that yet. Going to transfer some workers over there. And I'm sure that there's going to be a Queen's Nest here shortly. Lots of Lurkers coming up to 700 gas. Just disappeared. 700 gas just melted away. A lot of Lurkers are being made right now. No doubt in my mind. Gonna have to build a lot of sunken colonies as well, because Bisu's army's getting big. 170 supply is a lot to deal with. And I'm surprised he's not building sunkens over here already. Like, he needs sunkens on this high ground, sunkens in the natural as well, probably sunken center left too, because there's just a lot of places that could pretty easily be broken here for Bisu. Bisu could come across the map, rotate from the natural over to the 3rd, over to the 4th. Like, he can kind of move around and attack different areas, and if Queen breaks anywhere, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. This is an interesting choice from Queen. I love the one muta heading over to the left-hand side here to see if the Dark Archon is coming, and in fact, he identifies it. Oh, he gets the observatory. No way. That's crazy. It's a very fast building to make, so it's not like that big of a snipe, but kind of a sneaky play from Queen, getting something out of these mutas. Right now, he's just kind of working with the mobile army. He's got quite a few Lurkers and Hydras over here in the middle. He's going to have to really react properly. Oh, I love the Observer snipes. No way. He gets 2 of the 3 Observers. That's so good from Queen. This makes it incredibly hard for Bisu to push. Incredibly hard for him to push, because the snipe on one observer could just shut this down, make it impossible for Bisu to make any progress. And so if he's able to just keep doing that, just bring the Mutalisk forward and keep sniping, like, this game gets ridiculously hard for Bisu, and Queen's just going to keep growing. He's holding down the fort over here at the center right, making sure that Bisu doesn't get a 5th too easily. Oh, Zealot's just going to run up this ramp. Where are the lurkers? There's no lurkers here, and he didn't block the ramp with lurker either. Oh no, Queen, is he just going to die? Oh my goodness, you can't just die like this. Very easily. As soon as all the Dragoons get up here on the high ground, the game might just end. Oh, I can't believe that Queen messed this up. Look at all this army trying to come up the ramp right now. He just didn't have a lurker on high ground. It's unreal. Queen played a pretty decent game, but he made a massive error here at the end. And yeah, there's almost no chance of coming back. Honestly, from a situation like this, it's absolutely brutal. He's only on 3 gases, and he doesn't have another base anywhere else on the map. He's not getting a counterattack going, so he's not shutting down any of Bisu's bases. Like, Bisu's trying to get bottom left. That probably won't live, but it might, because it looks like Queen's just sending it for a counterattack. Maybe try to attack the natural, try to attack the 3rd. He's got to do something here. He doesn't really have a choice. He has to break something. Gonna dive on top of these High Templar at the 3rd base, getting on top of those pretty quickly, and actually kills off a couple of those High Templar. Lurkers running right up on top of everything. Just gonna get right in amongst these cannons. A lot of these probes are likely gonna die, and the army is making its way forward, but you know what? I think he's just gonna break this with relative ease. Like, Bisu just smashes this push and turns the entire thing around. Like, as I said, it's very difficult for Queen to come back from something like this. This is one of the things that annoys me the most about playing against Protoss. It's like, you can do almost everything right. You're playing really, really well. You actually get yourself into a pretty advantageous position. But then the Protoss player just rams their army up a ramp, and you're not able to get your army up the opposing ramp. Like, he kind of got stuck on that other ramp, wasn't able to get into position in time, and now he's just kind of cooked. Like, there's not really a lot that he can do. He's now 70 supply behind. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get much worse here. Some Link's going to come in, try to get a couple kills on these cannons. He might, in fact, kill, 2 or 3 cannons here, but he's not going to get the Nexus. And there's a base coming up in the top right, but it's very hard for him to secure that. Oh, big probe transfer over to top or to bottom left is kind of funky. Let's see if he can actually catch that with a bunch of these lurkers. Maybe he can get in range at the ramp, try to burrow here. No, it's not going to happen. And there's cannons up on the high ground. He's even going to block with probes. Very, very nice play from Bisu, blocking with probes. Ends up killing 2 of the 3 lurkers here before they can even get up onto that high ground. And all the cannons will shut that down. So this is just getting worse and worse. 80 supply advantage now. And Queen is at the edge of defeat. He is about to tap out of this game number 1. Oh, it is frustrating. It is rough to see. I thought we were going to have a really epic game here on our hands. But Bisu found the chink in the armor. Like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of different places to defend on this map. There's a lot of different angles of attack for the Protoss. Building a lot of sunken colonies and having lurkers everywhere is generally the best solution, but Queen seemed like he wanted to have more of a mobile army. He wanted to have a bunch of lurkers and hydras kind of in the middle of all these bases and ready to respond to the threat wherever it came up, but he wasn't able to respond quickly enough. He wasn't able to get up that ramp and defend center left, and now he's kind of made his bed here. He's got to lie in it. It's a tough situation, and it's likely going to result in that Bisu victory, who's heading over towards this top right now. It's a last stand here in the top left, really, for Queen. He's got to save that base. or he is just going to have to tap out. Bisu is angling towards the third now. Orange Cloud is pretty good. The Cheeto Dust, difficult to muddle through. And so he just turns around and kind of leaves that alone. He's going to continue to build the Archon count. And it will start to actually accumulate quite a bank now. Look at all the cannons down here. It's kind of crazy. Just having like a couple of DTs on the ramp or something like that too makes things really hard to break through. Ooh, throws down a Storm on the Defiler. There it is. He actually kills the Defiler there with Storm. Proving Tasteless wrong one final time. Showing that absolutely you should target the DT, or you should target the Defiler with Storm. Try to kill that off. It's a very good move. And Storm's here on the Nidus as well, just ravaging this army as it pops out. Lurkers are all but dead, and even though this attack is not the most pretty thing in the world, it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, it is highly effective, and it forces Queen out of this game. GG, game number 1. All right, boys, game number 2. We got Bisu over here in the top left. We got Queen in center right, and I'm just getting ready here for my next stream. Tomorrow I'm going to be streaming. If you guys are watching this right when the video comes out, right when this video comes out, I'm going to be streaming for 12 hours. It's going to be my longest stream ever, at least up until this point. First time 12 hours stream. And I'm doing that because friends of mine are doing a 24-hour stream, and I just wanted to give it a try. Just wanted to see what it's like, and we've been having a lot of fun streaming lately. We've been doing a lot of Pro League, and it's been great. A lot of people showing up. A lot of you guys have been watching Pro League and sending me messages saying how much you're enjoying it and how much fun it is. So the plan is to start off with, you know, some friendly games, hanging out with those friends, and then a little bit later we're going to be doing some Pro League. So look forward to that 7 a.m. Japanese Standard Time on the 11th of January. That's what I'll be starting, and it should be a lot of fun. We're gonna eat lunch on stream with my wife. We might eat dinner on stream as well. Just depends on how it goes. And yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited to continue this endeavor and, you know, continue to evolve as a streamer and just try different things. So it should be good. I'll leave that stream up, that 12-hour stream. I'll leave it up on YouTube. You guys can check it out in the live. If you're watching this like later on, you're like, oh, I wanted to see that 12-hour stream, but I missed this announcement. I also announced it on YouTube, so a lot of you guys should be able to catch that. But if you're not able to catch it and you weren't able to be there during the live stream, it will be up. I'm gonna leave it up. Even if there's a Pro League in there, I'll just leave it up, and hopefully nothing will happen with it. I'll probably end up getting demonetized because we'll be watching other videos. I think I'm going to do like a bit of reacts with my wife as well while we're eating lunch or after we eat lunch, that sort of thing. And so it may end up getting demonetized. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I'm going to leave it up. And that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say about that. That's the announcement. We've got Bisu here with the early gateway, but he can't really send his lings across, or his zealots across the map, because the lings are here, putting on that early pressure. And Queen going to get up in the face of Bisu here early, try to run by with potentially these 4 lings, but keeping the lings alive is actually more important. As I say that, he loses some of these lings, so it's a little bit unfortunate. But like three zealots going across the map, you need a lot of lings to deal with. You need like 8 ling, 10 lings to actually kill 3 zealots. So if he's able to just send the zealots straight across the map, you have to build 10 lings to stop it. But if you've got 4 lings running around, Bisu needs multiple zealots, all 3 of these zealots at home, to prevent them from getting in the main base. Then you've essentially canceled out the 3 zealots without actually having to build the lings. So that's why we see a lot of this running around, a lot of like footsies in the early game, looking for an opportunity to run by, but primary function is to put pressure on the Protoss player and make sure that he just doesn't send the zealots across the map. And he actually sent them out after those 2 lings died, but then he turned them around and went back home anyway, hoping that Queen will have built enough lings to where it actually makes it worth it. And in fact, I think he did. He did build quite a few lings. They're actually heading north. He doesn't see it with the probe. That's kind of important. I wonder if Bisu will move out right now and potentially get backstabbed, because there are quite a lot of lings here at the front. Not that, like, not a crazy amount. You would actually need a few more to deal with 5 zealots, but it might be that Bisu thinks, you know, oh, I didn't force him to build those, build extra lings. Okay, no, he reveals it now. He's going to try and get some damage on this zealot. Try to get some damage on this gateway. A lot more lings are coming. Oh my gosh, Queen built so many lings here. That's crazy. Queen might actually be cooked. This is so many lings, man. And yeah, he does have the spire, but look at the drone saturation. That's like 6, 7 drones that have been turned into lings, like would-be drones. This is a bit rough. Can Queen come back from this? He kind of has to play it out, because trying to bust now seems... Oh my god, he's still building lings. He's just gonna go for it. Oh, the run by! Oh my god, it's insane. He actually gets past. 2 lings get on, 3 lings get on top of that cannon, but they all end up dying. Dude, if he got another ling through there, he actually would have killed that cannon. I know it doesn't seem like it, but he could have killed that for sure. Now, as it stands, it's probably not gonna work. He's pulling a lot of probes here to block this. The cannon is still alive, and it looks like it's just not gonna happen here. He dives on top of the cannon, but everything dies. More lings coming up. Oh my gosh, it's pretty close, guys. It's pretty darn close. A lot of probes are getting targeted down. He's gonna get the cannon. He will get the cannon. Another cannon comes up, though. And yeah, he can try to run by, but he's just gonna block, get set up here in the natural. And with the cannon finished and a second cannon about to finish, he should be able to hold here. Is it possible he makes some mutas and tries to break the main? Oh, great block. Great block by Bisu. But here comes some lings. Going to try to slip by. 1 zealot comes out of the main. Another zealot's going to pop here soon, too. He's targeting down probes, of all things. Trying to get in here to the main. He has almost no drones back at home, so almost any amount of probe kills won't really matter in the long term. He's going to do another run by here, but he loses so many lings for that. Okay, he's going to maybe jump on the cannons here in the main. Maybe go for it with the Scourge and mutas. No, he can't really do that either. The options are running out here for Queen. He makes some drones. Uh-oh. He's trying to transition. It's rough. I guess there's only 29 total supply for Bisu, so maybe it's not as bad as I'm thinking. Maybe he killed somewhat enough probes. It feels impossible when the Zerg player makes this many lings and doesn't kill to try and come back. I don't know. He did target down a lot of probes, but we'll have to see. The other thing, the kind of missing factor here that we're not really seeing is that these hatcheries are super late, and he's not getting like upgrades either, right? He doesn't have an Evo chamber, doesn't have Hydra Den. He's kind of reliant on mutas and Scourge to keep him alive for now, and he's just gonna fly through a Corsair. Bisu just wants to see what's up. This is kind of a sacrificial Corsair right now, and it's probably going to end up dying, but he just wants to know what's the situation, and he gets a pretty good assessment. It would be nice if he just kept making Corsairs here instead. If you just continued to make Corsairs and built up to a big count, like, I don't think that Queen could potentially win. If you get up to like 8 Corsairs, just build probes and Corsairs nonstop and then go out on the map, like, he's not going to have Hydras in time, man. He's not going to have enough Scourge and Mutas to make that work. Ah, he loses one Corsair. Maybe there's a shot here for Queen. Doesn't really feel like it to me, but there's maybe something that can happen here. If he can get the Scourge together to actually kill these Corsairs, then maybe something can happen. One Corsair goes down. That's pretty good connections. Okay, another Corsair might end up falling, but you know what? It's too late. Okay, one more. Okay, only 2 Corsairs left, but the drones are being killed. Yeah, drones in the main, drones in the natural. This is what I'm talking about, guys. It is so hard to come back from a situation like this. Queen tried his best, but the Ling all in there didn't work, and this hold is not going to work either. He's got 900 minerals in the bank, man. Maybe building some sunken colonies would have been a good idea. It's so hard to sack drones in a situation like this where you're already so far behind in workers. You've been damaged so badly by your own all-in. You just got such a low drone count, but kind of had to build some static defense here to survive against this Zealot attack, or at least build enough Scourge to just wipe out those Corsairs immediately. But in the end, it looks like Bisu will force the tap out. GG is called. 2-0 for Bisu now. Great hold from Bisu in game number 2. Now we've got Queen over here in the top left and Bisu down in the bottom left. Ah, 9 pool from Queen. Put some pressure on early. Is it a Forge expansion from Bisu? Kind of looking that way. Gateway? Gateway. So more pressure from Bisu, but he'll quickly find out. He's going to need those Zealots back at home. Now, the early game footsies is going to be much more important here. Can fall apart very, very quickly if a few Lings get in. A few Lings manage to slip by into the main. Or, you know, too many Zerglings start to die if they get caught. If they don't take a good enough trade, then things can get really, really bad for the Zerg player as well. It's just... a lot of this game is going to be up to this early part. With the 9 pool coming online, you get 6 Lings all at the same time. You might even go up to 8 if you really want to get pressure, go for pressure. But that does hurt your economy a lot. And it's reliant on fighting well here. So 6 Lings total. He starts the natural. Probably will just make a drone after this. But we haven't seen it yet. Good control from Bisu. Look at the way he's scouting. He's not scouting towards the natural of Queen. He's scouting down to try and catch and see if there's any Lings coming. You saw that. He pulled downwards with the probe. He saw the tail end of the Lings on their way over. And so he knows what's here. He knows what's coming. Oh! The surround there was almost perfect. Bisu has to come down to try and assist that second Zealot. And so the Lings get straight into the main. Uh-oh, this is looking a little bit scary here for Bisu. He could absolutely fall apart. And it's super tempting right now for Queen to just make non-stop Lings. He may make absolutely non-stop Lings. Try to keep one Zealot busy and try to get a surround on another Zealot. There it is. He gets a surround. Big surround there on that Zealot. Will help him to snowball the situation. A second pylon here was smart by Bisu, because generally the Zerg will try to target down the one sunken column, or the one pylon. Try to target down the one pylon and unpower that gateway, and that's the way that Zerg will generally win in a situation like this. But the second pylon kind of prevents that. However, the surround on the Zealot was really painful. That has given a lot of momentum to Queen in this game. And in fact, here comes some more Lings trying to get a good surround here. Can he get it? He will get the surround on the second Zealot. A third Zealot, excuse me. The other one died behind the mineral patches. So Bisu in crisis management mode here as Queen sends more and more Lings across the map. He's supply blocked at the moment. So he can't really build any more lings at this moment. It's kind of a dangerous situation here. He's like heart pumping. Gotta keep his cool. Kind of negotiate this into a win because it's definitely in his favor. He does tap out. Bisu taps out, and Queen will take a victory. Yeah, it's really hard to remember to make an overlord in those situations, man. Like, when you start to get the advantage and you're trying to press it for the win, remembering to get that overlord is not easy. It's definitely not. We all know that feeling, that heart-pumping sensation of when your attack is about to work, especially in the early game when you're microing small number of units against your opponent, trying to get a quick win. Queen manages to keep his cool there and get a good surround on the Zealot. Take out Bisu in that game number 3 and sees back a bit of momentum for himself in this series. At least managed to get that one win. You know, he tried the Ling all-in in game number 2 and it did not go well for him, so he's probably feeling pretty happy that he managed to make it work here in game number 3. Now in game number 4, Litmus is the map. And it appears we're going to see a gas trick for a 10th drone. And a 9 pool here from Queen once again. So 9 pool with a gas trick for a 10th drone. That's going to be sent out now. Probably will get blocked at this natural. I have to imagine that's the case. Oh no, he doesn't head back to the natural. So he's actually not going to block at the natural. And that means that Queen will get the hatch for free. Oh. Okay, he built 6 lings. And he's going to send the drone to the 3rd instead. Double cannon back at home. Bisu will be safe. It might be the case that Queen only made drones, but if Queen only makes drones, you can just cancel one of these cannons. And in fact, he might cancel one of the cannons now, seeing only 4 ling. No, he sees 6. There's 6. There's 6. So he will keep both cannons. So it's like, it's one of those things where, like, yeah, you could you could make only drones. And, oh, he's actually going to go around to the side. Look at this. He's going to go around the back. Bisu going to start to make cannons up here, most likely. Cannons on the high ground at his natural. Or at his main, sorry. Yeah, he's going to try and hop over with some lings. He could also build a pylon in the mineral line. Or pylon next to the nexus and try to build a cannon in the mineral line. Just trying to mine this gas. Making it hard for... Oh, he actually hopped over already. Uh-oh. He was trying to make it hard for the drone to mine because you can't mine at the same time as the probe is mining. But I believe these are stacked minerals. Oh, no. This is one of those mineral patches that has like a certain number of minerals in it. So... it's not a stack, which means you can potentially do that. He just wasn't able to do it effectively. And actually, I think it probably helped because the drone will still sit there, right? It'll still sit there and wait. And during that time, you can hop the lings over. So it actually kind of helps the lings to hop over. Kind of a funny interaction there from Bisu and Queen. But this cannon will finish up. He looked for the surround on it. Bisu was a little bit active with the probes, making sure that couldn't happen. And so, 1 cannon in the main kind of deletes this push. But you know what? I think it's still fine for Queen here. Look, I was talking earlier about how you still kind of have to make the lings. Even though you know that you're scouted and you know that the Protoss player is making 2 cannons, you kind of have to make the lings to force the cannons not to cancel. That's actually a big deal, is having the Protoss player not cancel that 2nd cannon and just throw down the Nexus immediately, right? But he not only did that, he not only forced the 2 cannons, but then he forced another cannon in the main with this play. So this makes a lot of sense in terms of, you know, game theory here, as to like how to make the most out of this early game. When you know that your opponent has gone for a forge first. Oh, nice catch there on the ramp. Zealots are heading out, and in fact, one is about to arrive here at the 3rd base. We'll see if that can get damage, or how much damage it can get, if any. In fact, it will turn around and back away after seeing those lings on the ramp. He knows that there's enough to deal with this zealot, and so we'll just pull back. Queen doing a good job of staying active in this main base. Constantly running around here will at least cause one zealot to be kept back. And give him some insight into what the follow-up play is here from Bisu. This is kind of sneaky, right? Going behind the mineral patches and attacking over the wall. Or attacking over the minerals to try to deal a little sneaky damage. Ah, he loses one ling, but those are some nice little moves here in the early game. Trying a couple of things. And he sees inside the main. Is that double Stargate in the main? Hydroden and Starport, or Hydroden and Spire, excuse me, Starport. Oh my goodness. Hydroden and Spire, that's very Soma-esque. We've seen it, and I even talked about it earlier on in this cast, is like how often we see Soma take out Snow is because of kind of this build. This build is very good against players like Snow. And are we going to see another hop over? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Probably a few Scourge are going to pop out here just to push away the Corsair, and then we're going to see Hydra production and a bust. Oh, ooh, Scourge not paying attention at that moment, or Queen not paying attention to his Scourge at that moment. He sees the... Okay, actually that's the second gas. That's the second gas over there at the third base. The natural does not have a gas geyser. Full information here for Bisu. He really has about all the information he could ask for. But is he going to be ready for a potential Hydralisk bust here? Because I think it's going to happen. Oh my gosh, he missed that. But he has another chance. Oh, can he get it? Oh my gosh, he gets away. Bisu survives. Bisu survives with his Corsair. It's not a big, huge deal because he has 2 Stargate. You can really replenish that Corsair count very quickly. But the thing is, this is a Hydra bust from Queen. This is coming fast. I don't see that many. Oh gosh, he loses a lot of these Scourge. Kind of need those. I don't see a lot of cannons at the front. This has Soma written all over it. And when I saw this build from Soma, I knew it was just a matter of time before other Zergs start copying it and doing really well with it. Because it is just so powerful. The cross deck is fully underway here. He's got to run forward, start to gun down some of these cannons. You got to use the lings to buy time. Okay, actually probes are going to be pulled. A lot of these zealots are dead, but not hopping on the cannons here. It feels like a mistake. Could have hopped on a couple of those cannons at least on the top side, and possibly at I guess at the very least opened up the angle to kill the forge. But now he can't really do that. He can only kill the gateway, which will allow Bisu some time to add up more cannons and also look around for some overlords. A lot of overlords are heading across the map right now. He's actually just gonna bring them over to the Protoss side of the map and hide them over there, which is actually quite a good idea. Just run away from these Corsairs rather than trying to leave enough Hydras back at home to keep them safe. Like, that's a lot of attacking units that you might need for that bust. So keeping all the overlords over on the Protoss side of the map means that you can bring all your forces to bear to try and break through here. 9 minutes has passed, but the problem with the double Stargate play is that Storm is going to be very late. Storm is going to be like 10 minutes, maybe 11 minutes. It's going to take a while. Unless he really rushes it. If he cut Corsair production, maybe he can sneak it out a little faster. I think I saw a Templar there in the natural, but there's probably not Storm yet. This Hydra bust did not work. I'm a little worried for Queen now. I'm a little worried about his chances in this game, the way that it's gone. And although Bisu went for this 2 Stargate play and it didn't do like massive damage, I still feel like Queen committed pretty hard to the Hydra bus that didn't work. And Bisu is going to have upgrades. He's going to have, you know, High Templars out here now, and he can get his gateways out as well. He didn't lose many probes in that Hydra bust. I'm curious to see what the follow-up's going to be on either side, though. Are we going to see like a bunch of Scourge pop and Queen try to kill these Corsairs and then switch it to Mutas? Or is he just going directly into Lurker now and trying to get a 4th base out as soon as possible? I kind of like that a bit better. Just go into a 4th right now, but it might be tough. Might be tough to get that base online. This map is a little bit wild, and when the push comes out here from Bisu, it's going to be scary. There's a unique situation on this map. Yeah, there's Lurkers. There's a unique situation on this map where the Protoss player can gather up an insane number of gas units. So either that's like tons of Corsairs and a few High Templar, tons and tons of High Templar, or a good mix of each. And I think it's going to be a good mix here from Bisu with a lot of Corsairs and a whole bunch of High Templar coming across the map with Dragoons and kind of sieging the Zerg player. Will be difficult for Queen to defend in 3 different places at the same time. You can siege the natural, you can siege the 3rd, or you can break that temple and siege the 4th. You've got a lot of options, and it's pretty quick switching between these different locations as well. Queen's gonna have to struggle to defend all that. He is looking to snipe the Scourge, or snipe the Corsairs. If you can kill all the Corsairs, then that does open up the option to go for a big round of Mutalisk and try to, you know, get some High Templar snipes and the like. He is going to get a couple of these Corsairs, and now the Scourge are definitely winning this fight. Is it time for a Mutalisk switch? And will Bisu be able to bust through Queen as he's taking this 4th base, as he's getting everything online? Queen is already ahead in supply. You can see that early game really starting to go help him in his favor. That was a great connection with all those Scourge. Getting rid of all of these Corsairs is awesome for Queen. It opens up a lot more options, as I said, and I wouldn't be surprised at all to see 10 Mutas pop out right now. I think it would actually be a fantastic decision. There's one. There's probably a lot more behind that. And Bisu he's up here on this 3rd base. Kind of unbreakable there. Okay, there's the Mutas already. Wow. Mutas already in position, killing off a bunch of High Templar. It's not like game-ending damage, but that's nice to just get rid of a few High Templar, building up a lot of energy back at home before the Dragoon count is insanely high. Like, you can still dive High Templar when there's a ton of Dragoons, but you do take a lot more damage. Gonna rip around here to this side, maybe snipe that High Templar as well. Oh, okay. Storms go down, but I mean, you can just go after the probes here. Another storm on the probes this time. The High Templar is dead now, and it's just free reign in this 3rd base. What can he really do here as Bisu, aside from just keep throwing down storms and hope for the best? The Mutas are kind of uncontested, and he's actually going to start making Corsairs again. It's going to be a long time before Corsairs are really a factor again in this game, but he's not willing to make a Dark Archon, so he's kind of got to follow this method. It makes sense for someone who opened with 2 Stargate Corsair, but man, is he losing a lot of probes and being forced to use a ton of storms as well. There's the Corsairs popping out. There's more Mutas behind this, though. And Queen is just running away with this game. He's going to probably even up this series. We'll have to see how the next couple of engagements go. But just looking at the supply, you know that Zerg player is in a very good spot. He's going to try to press forward here just a bit. with these Hydralisks. He thinks, you know, I've probably killed enough High Templar that maybe I can start to take some really good trades. Storm dodging is on point. Really nice storm dodge there on the top side of that army. Middle of the army as well. Really good storm dodge there. A lot of these Hydras explode as that, you know, last storm comes out, but I think that is indeed the last storm available to Bisu, and more Hydras are going to be coming up here shortly. The supplies have evened out. Still not a great sign, though, for the Protoss player. Still not a good situation here for Protoss. Another round of Mutas out, and he's going to be looking to snipe down those High Templar. If he gets one more good snipe on a bunch of these High Templar, it might be lights out. He's going to wait for this Protoss army to respond to the attack down to towards bottom left. And possibly just sweep in right here and now, try to snipe down those High Templar. Here is a little bit spread out. This is the opportunity. Spread out on this army. Oh my god, he went right into the Archon. Brutal. Huge damage on these Mutas. Flying into the Archon, not the right choice there. Really needed to get some good High Templar snipes. Maybe there's a hope here for Bisu. You know what? After those last couple of engages, things are looking up here for Bisu. He's going to be able to get this third base up. Excuse me, fourth base. In good time. There's still mineral patches in the main and natural. It's not like he's completely mined out on those bases just yet. And things are going to get a little hard for Queen, because he can take one more base below his main, which is on his side of the map, but all the other bases are on the Protoss, or in the middle of the map, which means they're just as easy for Protoss to access as they are for Zerg. So that's going to get a little bit difficult. Okay, diving into this base is good. Gets right on top of the third. That actually might be the winning move right there. He managed to just fly in and kill the High Templar, I guess, and then dive the cannons. All the probes have died, and he can dive on these High Templars now too. He's actually baiting out a few more storms before he does, and he might even come in here and stop this base over at bottom left as well. That's a great storm on the outro, at least getting some extra damage onto the Mutas, but this was a great move from Queen. He's gonna pull Bisu side to side, limb from limb. He had an opportunity to dive in here and kill these cannons before they finished while the Mutalisk attack was going on, but he actually waited until he pulled back. It's hard to control both at the same time, and in fact, you know, if you're controlling the Mutas here on the right-hand side and you send in the Hydras at the same time, you can't really afford to watch the Hydras, and so they might all die to one storm. And then your situation gets a little bit worse. So, I mean, you gotta kind of prioritize here. He prioritized the Mutas, and it definitely paid off. Now he's moving in for the final couple of kills here. Last couple of High Templar snipes go down. Now there's a Lurker at the bottom of the ramp, and a lot of Hydras here to really ramp up the pressure on Bisu, keeping him moving back and forth between these bases and not giving him a chance to fully stabilize. Queen, I think this is, again, winning move here. He kills the temple at the bottom. He's going to go into the main. Oh my goodness, Queen. Completely going around that army there at bottom left. And he's going to get on this high ground. He's going to get Lurkers up here on the high ground. Lurkers run forward and actually get stormed to death in that army. But this is the real story here. The story is that the third is dead and the main base is getting routed at the same time. And I think we're going to see the tap out here any second. Oh, of course, a egg on the ramp. That is rough. It's kind of like Starcraft 2 throwing down a stasis. Or not a stasis. What the heck? What was it even called? I don't even remember what that was called. Force field? That's what it was. Force field. Throwing down a force field, but at least there's counterplay, right? You can do something about it. You can throw down storms in order to do something about it. I mean, stasis is definitely the original force field, right? Stasis on the ramp. But that actually requires skill and timing. You have to do it to an enemy unit, or you can do it to one of your own units. I mean, that is true, right? You can put a Zealot or a Dragoon on the ramp and then just stasis it, and it does the same exact thing. I haven't really ever seen anyone do that. If I'm thinking about it, has I ever seen someone put their own Dragoon on a ramp and then stasis it? I don't think so. I think it's always... If I ever see that move, and I rarely ever see it, especially these days when almost nobody goes Arbiter, everyone kind of waits for tanks to come or Goliaths and then tries to throw down the stasis on that. I guess you're trying to get as much damage in the main as you possibly can, so it makes sense why you wouldn't want to stasis one of your own Dragoons. It just feels way more consistent. Like you could just plan for that move, right? Like you recall an army into the Terran's main base along with a second Arbiter, and then you put a Dragoon and then stasis with the second Arbiter. I feel like it makes sense. Anyways, guys, this game is totally over. There's no way you're coming back, Bisu. He's going to do a final attack. This is his final form. He's got all his Zealots and Dragoons here, completely surrounded by Lurker and Hydra on all sides. He's going to be overwhelming this army in no time flat. Actually, the Lurker's not really doing that well, but I mean, there's just so much stuff, man. The big zoom out here at the end, showcasing the full might of this army, the full surround here of Queen. Really well played by him to hit from all sides there, that final army. But dropping down all the way to 60 supply. I just heard the Chinese casters counting down for the GG, expecting the GG at any second. But Bisu's still hanging in here, I guess. He's still got a base down at bottom center. He's still mining technically, but like this is beyond over. Queen is light years ahead, and he's even taken center left now. That base is important because it actually has more gas than a lot of these other expansions. It's a full gas base. Army coming in from all sides. Look at that surround. Beautiful surround on the base as well, just shutting down that third completely. Bisu taps out. GG is called, and we're at an even series. All right, guys, we're cruising along in this series. We've got Bisu here top right, and Queen once again in bottom left here on Metropolis with cross map. I think this is about the most fair way to play on Metropolis. I mean, the most fair spawns. It can be, this map can be pretty difficult when certain spawns end up coming up. For example, if Queen was down here in the bottom right, you can see Bisu scouted there immediately. You kind of want to play a bit of a different way as Protoss if the Queen is down there, because you know that you can put on a lot more pressure with Zealots early. Taking the base towards the Protoss player, it's gonna make it very hard, and then taking the base away from the Protoss down at the 6 o'clock is arguably harder because it's so far from your natural. It's just it's tough. It's tough. I'm glad that we don't have those spawns here. Instead, we've got cross map situation. This should be an interesting game. Should be a good game here. I hope we don't see another Ling all in, but that could happen. Some of these have been pretty interesting, like the hold from Bisu on the original Ling all-in was pretty sick. And so far, I mean, he's been showing pretty decent holds overall. The probe control, as usual, is pretty slick. And I expect nothing less here. A bunch of Lings heading out on the map, 4 Lings, in fact. Going out there. Actually, 2 are going to head directly towards the natural. 2 are going to stay back at home, possibly block the ramp so that he can obfuscate the timing, hide the timing on the layer. Can he actually get by here? No, looks like he can't. Gets the probe, though. Big kill there on the probe. That's a great move. Picking off that probe. Denying the scouting information in that main base is huge. gives Queen a bit of a leg up here. You just don't know if he's building more Lings or not. Is he making a Ling all in? Is he does he have a layer on the way? Does he have a Hydra Den here in the main? You can't really tell here as Bisu, and so he's at a big disadvantage, not knowing what's coming. And I mean, it could trigger Queen to go for some sort of all in. He could. Like, we don't see layer, and I don't see a Hydra Den either, so, like, where did this gas go? It could have potentially gone into Ling speed, and we might be seeing a whole bunch of Lings coming here behind this. Haven't seen it quite yet, and it seems like there's a few more drones at the natural, so maybe that's not happening, but the potential is there, and so Bisu, he's got to be a little bit careful. There's the more drones popping out, so in fact, not going to be any sort of a Ling all in. Still, Bisu kind of has to sit here defensively with these 5 Zealots. And he's probably going to have to sit here until he's got a cannon up. So lots of time for Queen to quickly drone and get his Spire down. And all the good things that you want to get here in the early game for Zerg. So a reasonable start to this game, a very reasonable start. He is definitely feeling comfortable here, and Bisu is in an uncomfortable spot. It's not that he's in a bad spot, but that he's just not totally sure what's going to happen, not totally sure what the Queen is up to, and so little pokes and prods here are going to be important, but he just doesn't know. Are there like 20 Lings sitting just behind this? It's possible that Queen is waiting for him to move out with his Zealots, and then he's just going to ram it in there with a whole bunch of Lings. And so he's just got to just kind of sit back, just kind of wait, chill. He's got that cannon done. He's still not sure, though. He's still not sure if there's something behind this. What could be coming? His Corsair will have to confirm everything that's going on Queen's side of the map. In fact, it's just a normal game. Just a normal macro game here from Queen. With the bare minimum number of Lings being made to keep himself safe. And now finally Bisu's going to start to move out. He's got a Probe Zealot on the top of the gateway and a Zealot in the bottom side of the Forge. And he's pretty sure he can push out, but he is going to wait for this Corsair to go and find out some information. Ooh, he goes around the Lings. Are these Lings going to find... Queen might think that the Zealots have gone home. And so he could be in a little bit of trouble here. Look at the Lings sitting in front of the natural. Go check the natural. Go check the natural. Oh my gosh. He's got so many Lings over here. Okay, he sees the Zealots coming. With the Ling speed, he may be able to get back here in time to bring all his Lings together and try to fight this. Although there are a lot of Zealots, man. This is a ton. This is a ton of Zealots to deal with right now. We're going to have to see some really good pulling on the drones. And the surround here on the Lings is pretty good. Ling surround on that right-hand side was solid. Drones are doing a good job of messing with the AI here of the Zealots as well on the right-hand side. And you know what? He handles this pretty darn well. I mean, there's still 3 Zealots left, but the Sunken Colony is about to finish. And I think he just barely holds this without losing too much. Maybe 1 drone went down? Yeah, it seems like he lost either, 1 or 2 drones or none at all. And so this is a really decent hold from Queen. Making the absolute bare minimum. Now he's got Mutas out. He's chased this Corsair pack back into Bisu's natural, and so what can Queen do from here? Is he going to take a 4th base? It's a little early for that right now, but gotta make a decision. Do you want to try and put on more pressure, try to dive the main, maybe try to snipe High Templar with Mutas, or are you going to angle yourself towards a lurker play and a 4th base? I think it can be pretty good on this map. You can actually build Sunkens out into the natural, into that choke outside of the natural, and really bunker down on this map. And then, take a high ground somewhere else and try to bunker down there as well. He's diving the main, though. Diving the main is a pretty good move. Ooh, the Scourge all get wiped out, though. And with the Scourge all going down, the Mutas will be driven off as well. So this dive, not really going the way that Queen wanted it to. Scourge come through, more Scourge come in. to this main base, and they're going to try to engage with the Corsairs, but very good targeting here from Bisu. He gets a lot of kills on these mutas, and he gets rid of the Scourge as well. One or two connections on those Corsairs, but it's nothing super impactful as Zealots make their way into this into this third base. Let's see how he drone drills on this. He's really got to drone drill this very well if he wants to save with just one sunken colony. Yeah, those Zealots are going to get that sunken colony and probably a lot of drone kills as well. He's just kind of fighting here with the drones and trying to do the best that he can. I guess he got maybe 3 kills total. So it's not the worst thing in the world here for Queen, but that's still a bit painful. He's managed to crank out a whole bunch of drones here behind this Mutalist Scourge play. But a third base is already on the way for Bisu, and he still has a good number of Corsairs to beat back the Scourge Muta combo from Queen. I think we will see a 4th base relatively soon here from Queen, and that's why the DT is very important at a moment like this. That DT running around looking for a potential 4th might be able to get a denial on that. Looks like the 4th will come up at the center left. Ooh, great surround there with the Scourge getting at least 1 Corsair. It probably should have been able to get more than that, but that's a little bit rough. It's kind of how it goes, man. Once you got enough Corsairs, it's really hard to get good connections. Sometimes you'll lose all those Scourge for absolutely no return at all. So at least you got a little bit of something off of that. DT looking towards this natural, probably not going to find anything here. Might be able to go over to center left if he picks up on that. You know, maybe try to deal some damage to the hatchery or something like that. He's not making a move in that direction just yet, but could potentially look for a little something over there. Meanwhile, Queen getting into his game. Okay, he loses all these mutas, but he's getting into the game that he likes to play, honestly. He likes to play this type of, 4, 5, 6 base style. He's already taking a base in bottom right as well. Look at that. Double expansion from Queen behind this. You kind of rarely see it from a Zerg player, but he can absolutely pull it off if he has perfect positioning. If he builds enough sunken colonies and really bunkers down here while going into Hive, he may be able to hold all these positions. Like I said, you can sunken out into the natural on this map, into the natural choke, and kind of cover the left side of the 6 o'clock so that you only have to cover the 1 ramp going into that 3rd base. And so the 4th base, I mean, you have to cover both ramps here, but bottom right, you only have to cover the 1 ramp. It's still a lot of locations. And a 3 base push is going to be really scary from Bisu. It's just, it really depends on how well Queen sets up before this attack, I'd say. If he sets up a unbreakable defense, and potentially if Queen, doesn't even, or if Bisu doesn't even notice one of these bases, like let's say he never scouts bottom right, or doesn't scout it until quite a bit later on, then he won't even know to put pressure on that location, and Queen might be able to get away with not really defending that properly. Ooh, looking for some High Templar snipes. He gets maybe 1, maybe 2. Not a lot here, though, for Queen overall. Like, look at what he's got. Just a bunch of Hydras. Where are the lurkers? Where are the sunken colonies? Queen really skimping on the defense right now and just maxing Hydras as much as possible. Dude, he is supply blocked. That's not a good sign. Queen supply blocked right now with 1,000 minerals, 1,000 gas in the bank. This is a supply block that can actually kill you in a game like this. I mean, I've died so many times to this type of supply block. Look, he opens up some supply. He immediately supply blocked again. There we go. Some more supply opens up. Can he get some stuff here? Like, he should have lurkers on this high ground. He should have lurkers done on this high ground. And Bisu's going to come up here. Is Bisu going to get another, basically, free win? Pushing up this ramp again. This happened, I think it was game number 1, where Queen just did not have his setup yet on his fresh base. did not have everything set up and ready to fight, and he just lost the game immediately. Here, I mean, it looks like he's trading a bit better, but I think he's going to have to let go of this base, guys. Luckily for him, he double expanded, so he's actually going to have something bottom right. And, you know, maybe he can set up down here. He can set up the third. Oh my gosh, he's going to run into cannons here on the high ground. Oh, that's so funny. Drones running into cannons in top left. Bisu takes a massive win. He's going to try and put a hatchery in this this top corner, but it's not going to work. Definitely Bisu tracks that down. Like, you can't let him get away with that. No way. No way. Oh my gosh, he's not attacking it. He's not attacking. He starts a hatchery. The Dragoon found it instantly. Well, that's a bit rough. So the Dragoon does find it, and the drone dies. And he will not be able to get away with something like that. Putting a Nidus in top left and killing that base. Instead, he's going to be running around. I don't think this is a right call, Queen. He should be heading back home, setting up an unbreakable defense and trying to take the natural there in bottom right, if possible. Getting Defilers out. Defilers are kind of a big comeback mechanic in this matchup. That was a pretty nice run forward with the Lurkers, but he's going to eat big storms as those Lurkers try to push forward. These Hydras on the right-hand side got demolished as well, and here comes another great storm in the midst of these Hydras that are flanking. But, you know, some of these Dragoons are going to go down. Yeah, it's painful to lose those, but Bisu trading out quite a bit, and, I mean, if Queen falls back now, he's got so much less Lurkers to fall back on, and he hasn't done any real damage aside from, you know, forcing Bisu to remake a few units. The base in the top left is still going to be pumping, and eventually he's going to get that natural too, and then he's going to potentially split the map in half, and you cannot allow that to happen as a Zerg, so you have to get up into that hive. You got to get into crackling. Defiler, that is the comeback mechanic. You start spraying the army with plagues. You force them into trades that are not efficient, you know, running into Lurkers with plagued zealots and dragoons and stuff like that, and they're just not gonna have a very good time. And then you can start to take big trades, you know, little run-bys with lings and stuff to slow down bases like this on the low ground. Are nice as well, but if you just want to fight toe-to-toe with a Protoss player that's on even bases with you, just straight up Hydra Lurker versus Hydra Lurker, like, that's just not a recipe for success. In general, you're gonna end up losing that type of battle, and it seems like Queen is maybe feels forced to have this type of fight and try to win somehow, try to beat the army and lock him out of more bases or attack that base in top left. But I feel like even if he wins the fight, he's not going to have enough left over to go up and kill top left. Like, as long as there's a Templar in high ground and, you know, some armies being rallied, like, he shouldn't be able to break that. And in fact, he's not going to take a great trade. He's going to lose some Lurkers. He's going to get stormed. Basically, Bisu's trading energy for units, and now he's going to push through and just kill all these Lurkers too with the Dragoons. That's it. That's GG. We're going to have Bisu in an advantageous position. 3-2. Wait a second. Hold on. A lot of Hydras coming up from both sides here. It's going to actually wipe out a lot of these Dragoons. A lot of Dragoons go down. See, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, he's got a lot of Hydras. Got a few Lurkers mixed in. What is this wide angle shot? I've actually never seen this much of a zoom out in a Woniu cast, but there we go. Okay, we're back in. We're locked in, boys. Woniu is bringing us back down to reality, and the Queen is making a ton more Lurkers to keep this fight going. He needs to break a base, though. He's sitting here on even bases. The hive is started, but it's nowhere close to finish, I don't think. And even if it is, it's going to be a long time before Defilers. It's a bad position no matter which way you slice it. He's bringing the Lurkers over here to the right-hand side. Going to try to force the Protoss player to run into those while he dives this natural. He's going to get right in here on top of all the cannons. A lot of the Zealots are just kind of running into lurkers right now. Big trade here with a lot of Zealots going down. The Archon's going to fall as well. More Dragoons and High Templars are showing up, though, and they're going to great storms. There's just not enough Hydras. And, in fact, that base in top left does not break. It lives. And that's all Bisu needed. He just needed to survive that. He just needed to keep this base alive. He can remake cannons. And Queen is between a rock and a hard place. He's got nowhere to go with this army. He's going to run forward here, burrow, and probably tap out of this game because Bisu's completely surrounding this army. Okay, he kills some of the observers. That's something, I guess, but even without observers, you can still kill this army simply with Storm. And in a moment here, there are going to be more observers out as well to just do the final deed here and clear out these lurkers. Bisu in a full 30 supply advantage, starting to head down towards bottom right. Queen doesn't necessarily have to leave this game until the base in bottom right die, or one of these bases die. He could still kind of play it out. He's going to have to take probably center right and center left, and he still might not win in terms of trading overall against the Protoss army. Even if you're 2 bases ahead of the Protoss, you're still probably going to lose if they get really efficient with like Reavers, and you know, they have Dark Archons with feedback and, you know, possibly mind control later on. There's just Storms, Dragoons, Zealots, Archons. Especially the Archons and the High Templars, they really don't cost much. Gas is basically an infinite resource. It lasts forever. If you've got 5 depleted geysers, you can still crank High Templars at a pretty high level. You can still make a lot. So it's very hard to get hyper efficient against Protoss in a situation like that, but I don't think we're going to get there. Here comes the maxed out army of Bisu pushing in towards this base. Some storms get thrown down on this army as he pushes through. Just Lurker, Hydra. Again, not good enough. Not enough to take on this Protoss player. Like, this is a layer-based army taking on a 5-base Protoss. That's typically just not possible. And kind of a good rule of thumb is, like, once the Protoss player gets 4 bases, layer is no longer effective. Like, you have to get into Hive. You kind of have to do it. Even again, if the minerals are mined out, it's just that extra gas. It allows them to produce so many High Templars and just storm all this stuff down so efficiently. And so, you know, he's going to come here and flank this. I think all the Zealots are probably going to die, but he's on top of the base. He's killing the base, and Queen is dropping below 100 supply. It's a 60 supply advantage now, and GG is finally called. There it is. He taps out, and Bisu once again takes the lead. All right, guys, it's time for match point. Final match, potentially, of the night. Just want to remind you guys, if you are able to support what I'm doing here on YouTube through patreon.com, if you can afford to, I would really appreciate it. We got a bunch more of you guys in there recently, and really helps me out a lot. Makes me feel more stable and able to continue doing this for the long term. So again, thank you guys. Shout out to those guys who support for $5 per month or more, because you guys have access to all the Pro League VODs, Pro League watch parties. I upload them all to the Patreon, and you guys can watch them indefinitely on there. Oh, Bisu going for... Wait. Second probe is coming. Is he going to go for a cannon rush here? Queen is completely on top of it, not allowing it to start. You really need to get this started sooner rather than later. Oh, pylon. Yeah. Second pylon. Can he make it? Oh my god. What? He killed the drone right at the second he was able to throw down a cannon immediately after. That was insane. The timing on that was crazy. A second probe actually died, I think. Yeah, the other probe is dead. And he's going to get this cannon up. He actually needs another probe. Hold on. Can he hop out? He's going to hop out. Oh my gosh, he hops out. He hops out. He made a second cannon back here too. That is craziness. This other cannon for sure is going to finish. I think the top one dies, but the other one is going to be done. That's finishing for sure. He's going to get 2 drone kills. Okay, hopping over 1 drone is a good move. That at least saves the one. Can he target that down? No, he can't. I think this sunken colony will go down, though. However, lings are popping out, so maybe he can get back here and kill the cannon. Can he actually get back here and kill? Oh, God, he took a shot on the hatchery. That might actually really cost him here. He's going to hold this. Really nice hold from Bisu, from Queen. The cannon goes down. I thought the move there was actually sick, though. Killing the drone and then building the pylon within the same, like, frame almost. It's crazy how quickly he was able to do that. He must have been hammering the pylon. Like, he had the pylon ready. Over that point, he was just rapidly clicking for the moment that went down. And then he actually canceled the pylon and dropped 2 cannons in that location, by the way, and then put another cannon or another pylon above. So, like, he built and canceled a lot of different buildings, honestly. This is a big commitment, and Queen has held this off. So I think Queen is in a pretty good spot. Like, he did get supply blocked here a little bit, but you know what? It's actually not that bad. The Overlord pops out, and he already threw down the 3rd hatchery, so he's actually looking quite good. I'm liking this for Queen, guys. We might see a bit of a recovery and a 7th game from these two as well. That's definitely a possibility here, but it's not over by any stretch. Bisu could still recover. And he did kill 2 drones, right? 2 drones. It's 2 drones, and he killed the sunken colony. So that's 3 drones plus the cost of the sunken. It's really hard to calculate this, man. And imagine how much harder it is to calculate when you're in game as well. You don't have full information about, you know, who's got how much supply and all that stuff. You're just kind of macroing and then checking out your opponent's base with your scout, trying to figure out if you're ahead or you're behind or like what's going on here. What's the follow-up? Must be tough. You gotta respect it. Both these guys have played really good tonight. It's been a good series, and I hope we see more Bisu series, more Queen series in the future. I think we will if Queen continues to improve and get closer to his ASL champion level. He's going to become another force in the scene, in a scene that's already packed full of super strong players. Hydroden, and likely a Spire as well, going to come out here soon. The double tack, the cross tack, just so popular and just so strong. So far, I don't see a Spire, but kind of a dead giveaway when you go for a layer like that. I mean, he should be throwing down a Spire here momentarily. Looks like he's just optimizing for drones right now, getting out as many as he possibly can, and just bare minimum number of Hydras to hold this Corsair, make sure that he doesn't lose too much to the initial Sair. So looks like he's going to be delaying that Spire for now. Maybe getting Overlord speed. You know, you can go Overlord speed here with the Hydra speed and range and just try to bust. Try to bust before he gets Storm out and before there's enough cannons. This doesn't work as well as the cross-tech style because you don't have the Scourge to actually push the Corsairs away, so the Corsairs can keep coming in and scouting you. But maybe he can make it work. Also, Bisu put down a second gateway pretty early in the natural, So he's gonna have again the kind of like weird number of early zealots to come across the map and deal some damage, and he sneaks out a DT already. Whoa, the DT is super early here. I don't know how Bisu got this out this quickly, but this is going to cause a problem because Queen is not ready for this. Yeah, he is not prepared. He's going to check for the Overlord. Oh, an Overlord popped out just at the right moment, and he spotted it as well. Oh, wow. All right, this is actually pretty fantastic for Queen. He doesn't kill the DT though. The DT lives? Well, that DT have he's got like a sliver of health left? That is ridiculous. Checking the main again. Sees the full saturation here. Sees more drones popping out. It's all good information. He sees no spires still. Although there should be a spire coming down here shortly. You don't want to skip that forever. You do need Scourge eventually to deal with, you know, drops and stuff like that. But he's just kind of trucking along here with a bunch of Hydras for the time being. Zealots are coming out now. Oh, the surround on the High Templar. Such a sick play from Queen. Oh man, this is a really good move, dude. Those Lings are kind of trash right now. They're just like fodder at the front of the army to just buy even a couple fractions of a second against the Zealots, because they only take 2 hits to kill once the Zealot +1 is done. So they really aren't that powerful. But if you can get a snipe on something like a High Templar with those, you're getting way more value than you should be able to with the remnants of that Zergling force. Now, coming in with these Zealots, that awkward timing I was talking about earlier, where it's just like, why do you have this many Zealots right now? And combined with a couple of Corsairs, and actually a DT coming into the third as well. Ooh, this DT could get a lot of damage. He actually pulls the drones perfectly, though. Look at that. He didn't even lose a single drone. Dude, Queen is really good. Queen is really good. He lost some Overlords and stuff, but the drone count is still good. And the Spire is done. He killed a High Templar. He got rid of the Zealots. He pushed back the Corsairs. This is fantastic play from Queen. You got to give it to him. Really, really solid stuff here from him. And now Bisu kind of forced back. He doesn't really have anything going for him right now. He's got, you know, Storm's probably done. He's got some cannons, right? He's getting the gateways online, but this attack of his really didn't get him much benefit, didn't really work too well for him, and Queen can take a 4th base here soon. He can put on a lot of pressure. He could even try to contain Bisu in a situation like this. It's possible. Comes across the map. He's could have lurkers building here shortly. Just uses gas on something anyway. Could be mutas. If he builds a big round of mutas, he could try to dive the High Templar in the natural and just bust the natural. If there's not enough cannons there. There's only 2 cannons and 2 High Templars. If he flies through with 10 mutas right now and kills those 2 High Templar, like, we might see Bisu just die. Oh, round of drones pops out. But indeed, there is a group of mutas. They're going to be coming across the map here shortly. And looking for snipes on these High Templar. High Templar very exposed right now. Very exposed. And so he may be able to kill all the High Templar and potentially surround and just annihilate this army. Let's see. Okay, flank from the Hydras. Ooh, that was a good move too. Bisu did not see that coming. And just kind of moving out across the map while trying to take this third. Gets flanked, loses a High Templar. He's got 1 left. 1 High Templar left. And there's a full group of mutas here ready to dive that. And so I think he's just, oh god, he's going to lose even more High Templar. What a play, what a move from Queen. He gets both the High Templar for free. And this push is dead in the water. It's dead before it even started, before it even attacked in. It's coming in now, but the High Templar is gone. And now he can go after this with the full weight of the Hydralisk army. Hydras coming in from both sides. Does he have enough Hydras? There's a 50 supply advantage right now for Bisu. Does he have enough Dragoons here? More Zealots arrive. Oh my god, the extra Zealots arriving here just in the nick of time. The Mutas are not really doing the damage here to these Zealots. Now they can start to deal some damage. He's got to focus down the Corsairs, though, for them to really be effective. Dragoons on top of everything. Hold on. Bisu's actually just going to straight up win. Doesn't even need a single storm. Not even one storm, and he's still going to win this. How did he do this? How did he make this happen? Queen did such a great defense. He defended the cannon rush. He defended the attack, the initial attack. He lost nothing to the DT. And he still gets absolutely bowled over with no High Templar at all. That's incredible. Bisu takes this one home, and GG is called. What a way to end here with that Bisu victory, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, big shout out to the Patreon supporters, and come check out the stream tomorrow, or check it out, you know, in the previous live cast if you're not online tomorrow, if you didn't see this video until a little bit later on. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. See you tomorrow.